What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very, very well. We've got some awesome shaman changes for the Stormbringer tree, and I've already tried them in a key. We're going to get right into it, okay? Big buffs that have come along here. Number one, to some of the most important abilities for, I would say, Ellie Shaman is what we're looking at primarily, because the Stormbringer Ellie tree has gone, it's just been in trouble. But some of these buffs I think apply to all, from what I can see. Now, this is the Elemental Shaman one, so maybe it doesn't apply to Enhance, because Enhance has its own stuff over here. But this did, I don't know. I guess it's only for Ellie at this point, which is really who needed it the most. I think the Stormbringer tree for Enhance was like totally fine. Here's what happened. Tempest went up by about 21% from what I can see here, if my math is correct. Couple of other buffs too, Lava Burst and stuff. I'm not sure what all these really mean. Like, Lava Burst did not go up by this much. I don't know. We'll have to figure out what this means later. But I know Tempest did go up in damage. Earthquake went up in damage a couple of times there. Liquid Magma Totem went down a little bit, but that's okay. We have a 30-second cooldown now. It's really more about applying Flame Shocks. It's not about the straight-up damage. Last week, they buffed Liquid Magma Totem by a lot. This week, they kind of brought it back to the middle somewhere. It's like in a middle ground, so I'm happy with that. That's fine. Surge of Power slightly nerfed on the cooldown reduction that you give to your Ellie. Here's the big stuff down here. Awakening Storms went up to 200% from 50. Massive buff. That is the capstone that you've got on the Stormbringer tree right here. So Awakening Storms went up, Tempest went up. What does that look like in a dungeon? Let's take a look really quickly. Tempest was doing about 8% of my damage before this patch, and now Tempest, like including overloads and Awakening Storms, it was doing about 8-9% of my damage, maybe total. And now Tempest is doing 8.5%. The overload is 2.3, so we're at 10.8% of our damage already. Plus Awakening Storms is 11, 12.8, 13.2% of our damage just from Tempest and Awakening Storm. So it went from about 8.5 to like 13.2 from what I can see, right? That's a good percentage, I would say, for a hero tree to be hitting it. I've talked about this before, but I think hero trees that are around 15% of your damage is very good. We're not accounting even for the fact that we get Arc Discharge, which did get nerfed last week, but it's still giving you 40% more damage on your Chain Lightnings. That's really, really good. Like, I cast about 51 Tempests in this dungeon. Let's pretend like 30 of those 51 were on AoE packs, so I was getting the bonus of Arc Discharge, okay? That means I got 60 procs of my buffed Chain Lightning. So that's a lot of extra Chain Lightning damage that we can't even really account for. So I would say with confidence that this tree is giving you about 15% more damage, if not a little bit more. Can't really account for those Chain Lightnings, right? Between Tempest and the Chain Lightning buffs, it's about 15% more damage from this tree. I'm not even including the haste buff that you get and maybe the overloads that you get as well. Like, I'm not even accounting for that, okay? Let's just call it about 15% or maybe a little bit more. And I think that's an accurate representation of how much damage we're actually getting. Let me get the video up here that I just recorded. So I think the buffs that we just got are really good for the Stormbringer tree. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in a key. I think it's performing really well. I'm happy with it, to be honest. I think the Stormbringer tree is back. I think it's back for real. I think you should be very excited about this if you're a Storm person. Now, really quickly, sorry. Before I get into this, here's the build that I ran. It's got Primordial Wave. It's got Liquid Magma Totem. It's got some fire stuff. I do not have Echoes of the Great Sundering. That's probably still the better way to play it, but I'm not sure. I really just do like, I like spamming my Earthquakes with Aftershock. I think that's a really fun play style. And I think in particular with the Stormbringer tree, taking Aftershock is a huge deal because you get your Tempest procs based on the amount of Maelstrom you have spent. So if you get refunds on your Maelstrom, you can keep spamming Earthquake, 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 and then boom, you've got a Tempest proc. And now suddenly you're able to get out another Tempest really quickly. So I think Aftershock is huge, actually. I think the Splintered Elements Primordial Wave is still really important. Primordial Wave gets its cooldown reduced by Flash of Lightning, which means the uptime on this is way higher than 30 seconds. It's like every 20 seconds, every 15 maybe. It really just depends. That gives you a really quick, haste buff, which allows you to spam out more chain lightnings. It's a good combo. This is the build that I'm running here. I like it a lot. I think it works very, very well. I'm still not taking things like Thunderstrike War because I just don't think they're worth it, okay? Here's what this looks like in the opening pack. I got my Flame Shocks out with my Liquid Magma Totem. I did not double it up. I just did one Liquid Magma Totem, and we're pumping 1.8 mil right now. Big chain lightnings. I don't even think I haven't had a Tempest proc yet because it always takes a little bit of time to get it going. The first pack for this build is always the worst pack because you're not going to have a Tempest ready to go. Here comes my Tempest. I think I hold it actually. I'm holding my Tempest here. And then I just got 2 LE blasts off in a row, which means I'm going to be building up towards my next Tempest. I just sent the Tempest right there. It's about 1.15 mil overall on that pack. So now we got some juiced up chain lightnings ready to go with Arc Discharge. We're going to get Liquid Magma Totem down again. Primordial Wave is almost back. I'm going to do double Liquid Magma Totem here because I can. Here goes my Primordial Wave. I got a Tempest proc. Big Tempest proc there. We're at 1.2 mil once again. We're just slapping. I got my Stormkeeper back. This build, of course, similar to my hybrid build that I was doing with the Ancestors, this build also cools down all of your abilities, except for Ancestral Swiftness, which you don't have in this build. But it cools down Primordial Wave, Stormkeeper, and Storm Ellie. So all your lightning spells that you're casting give you massive cooldown reduction. They also cool down your defensive abilities, like your Totem and your Kick, which is really cool. It's just awesome. Like, the cooldown reduction is amazing. I think it also cools down Astral Shift, actually. It cools down everything, which is just disgusting. All right, we're saving our Tempest once again. We tried to get past this pack, but I think we end up pulling it. I think he has to paralyze it. I think Seb should have paralyzed first, maybe, before he bounced it with the... but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We have Tempest right off the bat. Watch this damage. Tempest, boom! It did 1.6 million damage just on its own, between the splash damage that it does and all that, right? So really, really big damage there. Awesome, awesome stuff. Get our Totem down. Get Primordial Wave going. Here we go. We're going to send our Lava Burst. We have a big haste window now. And then we go pop off with our lightning spells. There's our Ellie again. There's Stormkeeper. Big damage. And we got a Tempest proc. One thing you do want to do, I would say, on this build, you need to try and spread your lightning rods around. This is kind of an interesting thing. If you play Enhancement Shaman with a Lava Lash build, like Elementalist build, you have to tab target your Lava Lash to do Lashing Flames. With this build, you want to tab target your Earthquakes and LE Blasts, because every time you pick a new target and you put down an Earthquake, it puts a lightning rod on them. And it is not, if you're just pressing Earthquake on one target, in my experience, it does not guarantee that you're going to get a lightning rod on a different target. It will sometimes just reapply the lightning rod to the same target that you're hitting, and you really don't want that. You want multiple lightning rods going if you can help it, okay? So that would be my encouragement to you. If you're playing this build, you do need to kind of tab target a little bit. But yeah, on every pack, guys, I feel like we're honestly doing 1 million damage per second. It's actually kind of crazy now. There's my Totem again. Primordial Wave is coming. Here it goes. Primordial Wave. Lava Burst, and then we go Chain Lightning. We get a second Totem, sorry. Liquid Magma Totem. There's a Tempest proc. Here we go. Big damage here. Watch my damage. I'm doing 630k right now. Boom. Up to 950k. It's just awesome. Tempest does so much damage. It actually feels good when you press this button. It feels really good when you press it. And again, we're cooling down all of our abilities. My Primordial Wave is back. My Ellie is back. I probably just should have sent them. I should have just sent them probably, but I'm holding them for the next pack. 2-target cleave. This is a good little test here. 2-target cleave. Tempest into a Lava Burst. We get the speed buff now. We got Splintered Elements. We're doing pretty good damage here on 2-target cleave. You're going to LE Blast on 2-target cleave instead of Earthquake, I would say. In my experience, I think that's better. We got a proc on Ice Fury. Ice Fury is still in this build because I think it really props up your single target damage. It helps a lot. There's my Primordial Wave. We're going to send it. I got another Ice Fury proc. It gives you a movement global as well. I think I cheesed some damage here. Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate there. All right, my Chain Lightning cheesed a bit of damage there, but that's okay. LE Blast into Lava Burst. We're going to hold our Tempest. Then we're going to have a Tempest right off the bat on this boss. Now, Artie, our healer, is about to do some disgusting amounts of damage on this boss fight, but we start off strong, okay? We get our chain lightning off. The only problem, you saw me do it right there. The only problem with this build is that sometimes you are given a free Stormkeeper proc. I'm given the free Stormkeeper proc right there. I'm casting Stormkeeper myself, but you don't want to do that because it'll literally just override the Stormkeeper proc that you got. So I have to pause here. I have to move. I press my chain lightning. Then I do my Stormkeeper. So sometimes you can get some weird overlaps that way. Same with Tempest. If you press Tempest and you have a Stormkeeper proc ready to go, the Tempest, if it hits an AoE, it's going to proc the Arc Lightning. That will override your Tempest. So I don't really know. It's kind of weird. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is. Here's our Bloodlust. Here comes the damage. Watch Artie. Watch our healer. Our healer's going to do like a disgusting amount of damage right now. Just, you know, just bear it in mind. It is Artie. He's very good at it. And there's something wrong with Resto Druid, to be honest. But we're pumping here. I think our damage gets up towards 1.5 mil. There goes Artie there. That was his Convoke. Look at that. He's beating us for a little bit here. Absolutely disgusting. He's not healing anybody, right? So it is what it is, but it's pretty funny. Yeah, Artie, question mark? He's absolutely destroying the meters, which is hilarious. But we've got all our cooldowns back. I'm gonna send my two big chain lightnings from Stormkeeper first. Then I do a Tempest. And we get another Tempest proc right away, right after the one we just sent. Boom, there's another one. It's looking good. And we'll finish off this boss. So very, very good damage here. Obviously, that's double damage there, but the damage here is really good. It's just really good. Let me go to I mean, every pack you have Liquid Magma Totem. Every pack you have Primordial Wave. Every pack you're getting Tempest procs, like, and you're cooling down your Elemental. You're cooling down Stormkeeper. It's just awesome. Like, I don't know. It's really good. I love this build. It feels fun to play. It's fantastic. It does damage now. I think that builds that are leaning into the Flash of Lightning talent for Ellie Shaman, that's the way to go. I really think that's the way to go, because cooling down all of your abilities, whether you're playing a Stormbringer style, or if you're playing with the Ancestors and you have Ancestral Swiftness, you're cooling that down as well. Like, cooling down abilities is just the way to go. It feels so incredibly fun to play. You get a bunch of instant cast chain lightnings. You're getting that Stormkeeper back. You're getting that Storm Ellie back. It just feels good, guys. And Tempest still looks and feels and sounds amazing when you press it. Watch this. Here comes a Tempest. I'm doing 1.7 mil. Here comes Tempest. Boom. We're up to the top. They're 1.78 mil. It just does so much damage now. It's actually about 13% of our damage overall, which is much, much closer to where it should be as far as hero trees go, from what I've been seeing. It absolutely should be around the 15% mark, and it is now, which is really good. Yeah, it just feels good, guys. There's a big pull coming up here that I wanted to show you really quick. That's not this one. That's a single target pull. We push on. Okay, here it goes. This is our double pull here. I put a totem down, unfortunately, so the damage for my Liquid Magma Totem is not going to be good. I pop my movement ability here, and we're moving while casting Spearwalker's Grace. Put another totem down. I actually stun them for our tank so he doesn't die. Get some earthquakes going. Then I'm going to channel my Stormkeeper. Big damage here. Boom, boom. And then we're going to get a Tempest proc. I'm tab targeting my earthquakes. Here comes my Tempest proc. Look how many lightning. I have 3 lightning rods out now. Boom. Big Tempest there. My Liquid Magma Totem is back. I'm doing earthquakes, Liquid Magma Totem, chain lightning damage. My Elemental is back. I can press him again. I pressed Bloodlust by accident there. I was pressing Ancestral Guidance, but it's right next to Bloodlust. And then I'm typing instead of casting spells. But the damage is good. Probably could have done 2 million damage per second if I wasn't typing here. But you can just see how everything gets refreshed. Everything gets refreshed. Everything, you know, you're just doing tons of damage, and your cooldowns keep coming back. It just feels good. It feels really good. Look at the final section here. This is Mistcaller. How do we do on Mistcaller? We ended up doing about 460 there. Not amazing. Damage could be better. The single target is probably still a little bit worse. I think the single target is worse than the Ancestor tree for sure. Here's a big pull once again, but your AoE damage is really fun. It's fun and it's big. You're doing big AoE damage, guys. I'm telling you right now. So you're probably going to suffer a little bit on like a Tyrannical week maybe, but again, that's why you have Elemental Blast. That's why you have things like Ice Fury. It is okay. The single target damage isn't that bad. In fact, I'll show you the final boss fight where we absolutely pop off with single target damage. It's really big. I think if you sequence things correctly, your single target damage can actually be good. Is it better than the Ancestors? I don't think so on single target. I don't think so. But I think it could be close. I might just not be playing it perfectly yet at this point. And once I get, a little bit better at it, sequencing things like putting Lava Burst in front of every Tempest, putting Lava Burst in front of every Ellie Blast, like that kind of thing is what you want to be doing, of course, for the Master of the Elements buff. Here's some crazy damage here on this boss fight. You ready? Final boss fight. Bloodlust, Totem is down. Lava Burst, Ellie Blast, Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt, Ice Strike, or not Ice Strike, sorry, Ice Fury. We're just popping off here for in a second. Look at that. Ellie Blast, Tempest, Lava Burst. My cast speed is so crazy right now. Trying to weave a Lava Burst in between everything. Big Tempest proc right there. We're doing 1.2 mil on the boss fight. Yes, we're hitting the ads a little bit, but it's not like it's... I wouldn't call it cheese. The ads need to die, but it's not pure single target, if that's what we're going to go for there. That is true. Again, we're just weaving spells back and forth. Tempest, Ellie Blast, Tempest. I should have weaved in some Lava Burst there. That was a mistake, actually. My totem's back. We're maintaining 1,000,000 damage per second on a boss fight, which is really good. I think it's really solid. Primordial Wave is back. I'm not going to hold it. I'm just going to send it. It's really not ideal to try and like line up your Primordial Wave with the ads that spawn. That's just not... Again, you're cooling down Primordial Wave every time you press Lightning Bolt, every time you press Chain Lightning. So there's a very good chance that you're going to have Primordial Wave back by the time the ads respawn. So I wouldn't worry about trying to like wait for the ads to spawn. If I had waited, look, I have it back now. I used it and I have it back now. So I can go Flame Shock here. And then I Primordial Wave this guy. And then we do a big Lava Burst into a Chain Lightning. That's cheesing a little bit of damage there. That's unfortunate. But you see what's happening. The damage is fine. Even before I cheesed a little bit there. It's actually pretty good. Ellie Blast at the end here to finish off the boss. And boom, that's it. So very, very good damage there. 894 on a boss fight. Then we had to clear up some trash. And that was the whole dungeon. So our damage overall was 1.02 million. Our Chain Lightning was our biggest thing. Then Earthquake, then Flame Shock, then Tempest. Again, Flame Shock benefiting from our buffs to nature damage. Our Lightning Shield gives us a buff to nature damage, and our Elemental Unity, when our Storm Elemental is active, we get a buff to nature damage as well. So our nature damage is big, 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 and Flame Shocks are volcanic. That's why they're so high. That's partially what Liquid Magma Totem is doing for you, right? Liquid Magma Totem's only about 6% of our damage now, but the Flame Shock damage is high because of that, the buff. Ellie Blast, Tempest doing damage now. That's the main thing, guys. It's about 13 to, I would call it 15% of our damage if you're going to include some of the Chain Lightning buffs that we got. So very, very good. I think that the Storm build is back. That was only in a +4. So remember that we get scaled to a certain level. If I was in a +7 or a +10, then the scaling would have been even higher and our damage would have been even higher, I think. So I am excited about this build. I think the Storm build is back, and I think that with these buffs that have come in, it is absolutely looking strong once again. Is it better than the Farseer build? I think they're pretty close now. I think the pure fire build for Farseer is definitely worse, I would say. I think the hybrid build that I was working on, where you're doing a little bit of lightning and a lot of fire, it's like a 70-30 split instead of like a 100-0 split. That build, I think, is still a little bit stronger potentially than this Storm build. But I'm going to have to do some more testing, guys. And I want to know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think about this Storm build and the damage that it's producing? Please let me know in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you down there. Thanks so much again for watching. Love you all. I will see you in the next one.